So for someone who is new, who maybe saw a few formats on TV and think, oh, I want to be a part of this business. I heard it's $1 billion business. I want to be a part of it. What are the main things that they have to understand and know?
If you're going to get into this business, and if you're going to choose of all of the things you can choose in television, if you're going to choose formats, it comes with the understanding of why recipes are important. Um, but even more so, how you could make a recipe your own. So you can watch Julia Child, and it can be the best cake ever, but you know that in your family and in your community, adding a little touch of cinnamon or rum makes it completely different, makes it yours, but it still looks like Julia Child's cake. Then if that's what you love, you're in the right place. And it takes a lot of, you need to be ready to fail. It takes a lot of patience. Um, but the beauty of unscripted television and beauty of formats is that the nature of time moving forward, the nature of society evolving, the nature of of how even from one day to the next, the entire world can change means that there's always something to talk about. There's always a human condition adapting in real life to new times, and therefore that can be presented on television. And whether it's metaphorically through a game or some sort of competition structure, um, that sort of mirrors the tensions and and stuff in life, or through something experimental or bringing people joy and a food show. Um, all of it comes down to the same thing.
Everybody has big ideas. It's probably big, that's why they go into audiovisual industry or television, because they have all those big ideas in their heads that they want to communicate. But how do you do it? Where do you start?
Okay, well, I think it's three different levels in parallel. First, um, well, especially in these incubators, we talk about how to take the big idea and clarify it, how to take the big idea and communicate it. There's something called a log line, for example, and we put a lot of pressure on this concept that if you cannot tell me what your huge idea is in 2 lines, you're probably not clear yourself on what it is, and it's going to be very hard to break it open and to structure it. So I think that on the creative level, we talk about um, matching the big theme, the big idea, the big philosophical element, and distilling it into action. So, you know, if it's a show about makeup or food or whatever, what are you trying to say? And sometimes it starts with the big, this is what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it. And the log line and the synopsis and the structural elements are very important to distill that. Then once you have what your idea is in a clear form, is there a recipe? Is it really a format? How do you know it's a format? Why is it a format? Let's go through those recognizable format beats. Of those format beats, for example, you write Survivor, arrive at the island, listen to what the challenges are, learn about the team. What does your team represent? What are the challenges? How do you get eliminated? All of those rules, fine. But what is unique about your show? What are the unique selling points that make it instantly recognizable? In the incubator, we talk a lot about the turning chair of the voice. What is your turning chair? Uh, for Shaolin, what is your handwritten diary or 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 monastery setting, for example? Um, but that all, that's the creative side. But in order to really achieve a goal out of this incubator and not just learn, I mean, learning is important, but if you actually want to sell a show, part of what we do is talk about being in this business. You have to build relationships. You have to meet your broadcaster. You have to ask what the broadcaster wants. You have to understand that the broadcaster is made up of human beings, right? Who are those humans? Do you relate to them? What do they like? What shows are they interested in? What does the broadcaster need? Um, How are shows sold? How are they distributed? You really have to commit yourself to understanding the industry. The problem with film and television is that because it's associated with this sort of dream big kind of mentality, and everybody has ideas, you're kind of like you wake up and you're like, Tomorrow I'm going to make a movie about this, or I'm going to make a television show about that." And true with modern technology and AI and all those things, it's a lot easier to do it, but to reach an audience is still quite difficult. And there's more to formats than uploading it somewhere, right? There's a business here, and building those relationships and building that community and entering in the business is just as much a part of this path and this journey as to learning how to create. Um, I think those two things hand in hand are very important. And the third one is research, uh, especially in the world of unscripted. Your idea probably exists somewhere. Research, 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 watch, watch, watch. Do whatever it takes to consume as much as you can, starting within your own community, and then to the countries just around your community, and then to your continent, and then beyond, and really grow out from your center to know what's out there. And that's not necessarily, if your idea exists, it might not be a bad thing. Can you make it your own? And that goes beyond just formal adaptation, right? Like, let's learn how to take a show that exists, get the rights to do so, and then adapt it. But there's nothing wrong with, if you saw Idol and then you created Voice and then you created Got Talent, or you did all of those things, they're all in the same world, right? Uh, but they're not copying each other. They understand the inherent similarity and the emotional similarity, and then they make it their own. So you have to have that desire and that skill as well. Um, and I would add one last thing, and I'm sure as someone who both creates and educates, Aista, you can agree that listening is also really important. If I had $1 for every time someone said, "I have a great show," and then I respond as even not only as a professional in the field, but as an educator and say, "You know what? That is interesting, but it exists here, here, and here," or teammates, classmates, fellow producers also have the same idea. Maybe you should change or shift, and you still say, "No, I'm going to do it." We've all heard stories of people that push and push and persevere, and they're right, but 9 out of 10 times it's not going to get made. So I would listen to the people that are around you that have gone through the pain already of rejection, and the joy of achievement, and work with them on that balance.
So two things really I think are the biggest value of those incubators from what I've heard you say. First of all, these are not incubators for just self-development. These are incubators that have a goal of teaching you to make shows that can be sold. So it's not really just about expressing yourself. There's nothing wrong with that type of programs, but this is a professional incubator, and professionals need to make a living, and to make a living, they need to sell their shows. So this is the type of incubator where you teach how to make a show that sells. And the second, I think, important thing that makes this incubator important and unique is the community, right? You don't have to, usually you do it on your own. When you start, of course, when you're well off and you have a team, you do it in a team. But at the beginning, at the very beginning of your journey, you usually do it on your own. This incubator provides you with a community that can serve you as a sounding board, and as advisors and consultants, and your test group, if you will, your focus group. So I think these are two very important things, and I'm really looking forward to us doing this again.